Hello, in this video we will be exploring object hierarchies in story machines. An object hierarchy is a relationship between two objects, often called a parent and child relationship. As in many other game engines, game objects can be attached to other game objects, making them children of those objects. The child object inherits all of the changes that happens to its parent, whether that is movement, scale, or rotation. So in this video, we'll see how these relationships worked in Story Machine. We will also dive into both world and local transformations. I know it sounds like there might be a lot going on here, but it's actually pretty simple in Story Machine. Okay, let's get started. To begin, let's open up the Zombie Byte sample project. We will drag and drop our mondo.png and our bleak.png onto the stage as our elements. So we now have two objects on the stage, and for this demo, Armando, we're going to want him to blink every few seconds. The way the blink works is that blink contains just his closed eyelids, which can be layered on top of the Armando graphic to make it appear that he has closed his eyes. By turning the blink object on and off rapidly, Armando appears to blink. Let's highlight one object, Armando, and go to the inspector panel. The inspector panel is where we can get into the details of objects, their position and rotation, and their components. So looking at the inspector for the Armando object, we can see how he is positioned in the world. Position here refers to the object's current location. Scale defines how much an object's size is compared to its original size. And this is a multiple, so a scale of 2 is twice as big, and a scale of 0.5 is half as big. And then rotation determines the orientation of the object in the game wall. Okay, so now let's explore the concept of parenting by connecting the blink image to Armando. Simply drag and drop the blink object onto the Armando object to create a parent-child relationship. The blink is now a child of the Armando object. When an object has a parent, its position, scale, and rotation are considered to be relative to that parent rather than to the stage. The blink object is now local to the Armando object, which means that if we move Armando around, the blink will stick to her. The parent's transformations act as the child's new origin core. Now, let's make Armando blink. To trigger actions based on the specific events, we will use the event receiver component. Select the Armando game object and then add an event receiver component to it. Set the event type to idle. An idle event is an event that happens once per frame, every frame. As soon as the actions in this event receiver finish, they will run again in the next frame. Okay, now let's edit the idle event receiver. We'll add 2 enable disable actions and 2 wait actions. We'll place 1 wait action between the enable disable actions and the other one at the end. And so what we are doing here is turning the blink object on and off with a little delay between. We'll then drag the blink gain object to the enable disabled target objects field and set the command from second enable disable action to disable. Lastly, we will set the first wait time to 0.2 and the second one to 7. This will make the blink object visible, causing Armando to close his eyes, then 0.2 seconds later, the blinked object will disappear again. The final wait action controls the wait time between Armando's blinks. Here we are saying that Armando should blink every 7 seconds. Because this is part of the idle receiver, the list of actions will run as soon as it completes. You can sort of think of it as a loop. The meaning, there we go. The parent-child relationships here provide a structured way to control elements. And so in this video, we used a very simple example, 2 objects that are the same size and have the same organ. But you can connect objects together with parenting in much more complicated ways. Children can have themselves have their own children. Check out the skeleton example for a more complex chain of parents and children. Thank you for joining us in this tutorial. Stay tuned for more.